Holidays in China suck. I'm not even kidding. I love China. I love living here. But holidays, oi, let's get into it. 大家好，我是 Suran 在中国. Hey everyone, it's Suran in China. How y'all doing today? I hope you're having a good day. It's another wet and rainy day here in Shenzhen, but hey, it's the monsoon season in South China. It's to be expected. So today I'm sitting in my office and I thought I'd hitch up with another one of these interesting little topics. And this one being that, and this is true, I honestly think that holidays in China suck. Let me explain. Now, don't get me wrong. I love China. I love the Chinese culture. I love my life in China. However, in the past, when I was an employee in China, a teacher or an employee in another company, Chinese holidays were something else. First, let's take a look at the holidays, and I'll tell you why they can be as difficult as they are. Now, China has 7 national holidays, the first being New Year's Day. Now, it wasn't always a national holiday. When I first came to China, it wasn't. It was a work day. However, now it is a day off work with pay. Fantastic. The next holiday is the biggest holiday of the year in China, and that is Spring Festival, also known as Chinese New Year. And it is a variable date holiday. It does go by the lunar calendar, not the solar calendar. So it could be any time between the beginning of January and the end of February for an 8-day period. This year, it was from February 10th to February 17th. But last year it was a different date. The year before that it was a different date. And next year it will be a different date. So it's very important to check your calendars and to see when the actual dates are going to be, especially if you're planning to get together and meet with your family, which is what the holiday is all about. In China, Spring Festival is the time when families come back together from wherever they are in the country or the world to reunify, to share huge meals, and to kind of get back in touch with the family spirit. It's an amazing holiday. I had an amazing Chinese New Year this year in my wife's hometown. I absolutely loved it. The next holiday is the Tomb Sweeping Festival, Qingming. And this festival is designed, again, it's about family paying their respects to the dead, to the relatives that have gone on before. The tombs and the burial areas will be cleaned. Offerings will be made, incense and firecrackers will be lit, and big meals will be had. It's only a 3-day holiday, but it is a very, very interesting one culturally, and I really, really enjoyed it when I went back last year and was able to experience it with the family. The next holiday is Labor Day, and that's happening right now as I speak. The holiday is from May 1st to May 5th, and this year that falls on a Wednesday, and the holiday is for 5 days. So for 5 days, it's a little rest period in the middle of the longer holidays where people can go and travel, have some fun with their families. The next big festival after that is the Dragon Boat Festival, which again is a 3-day festival where people get together and have fun. It's when the dragon boat races typically happen, and there are a lot of cultural events going on all over China. It's a very fun, very exciting festival that doesn't typically require a lot of travel. The next big festival is the Mid-Autumn Festival. Again, it's a 3-day festival. This year it will be from September 15th to September 17th. This is an eating festival. This is why I love it. This is the Mooncake Festival. This is when you eat those delicious, delicious mooncakes, unless you happen to get the mooncakes with the egg yolk in it. Ooh, not a big fan. But there are so many delicious mooncakes and also rice dumplings. Love them, love them. But it's an eating festival. People get together and eat. It's 3 days off in total, and it's a lot of fun. And that leads us to the last national holiday of the year, and that is actually called National Day. Now it says National Day, but it's actually a 7 rest day holiday, so it's a full week. And this is another travel holiday. For Spring Festival, the one other big holiday of the year, people all go back to their hometowns and spend time with their family. National Day, on the other hand, the 7-day holiday, this is typically the one where people go off and travel for tourism type of activities, whether they're traveling across China or traveling around the world. So it's a lot of fun. This year it is from October 1st to October 7th. That's 30 days of holidays. What could be so terrible about that? What sucks about 30 days off of work, right? Here's the rub. Now I'm going to use the May Day holiday, the one right now, as an example. May 1st to May 5th is Wednesday to Sunday. For typical employees, weekends are off. So if you happen to work weekends, it's a slightly different deal. But let's say that you're a Monday to Friday teacher. So the weekend is off anyway. So you've got 3 days and the weekend. Now, the holiday itself is only one paid day off. So Wednesday is paid. What happens to Thursday and Friday? This is where it gets annoying. In order to give you those 5 days off in a row, you have to do makeup days. So in this case, for the May Day holiday, the Sunday before the holiday, April 28th, and the Saturday after the holiday, which is May 11th, are work days. This is what I don't like. So that means the week before the holiday and the week after the holiday, you're only going to get 1 day off of work for those weeks. So if you're a typical Chinese worker, you're probably working 50 to 60-hour weeks at least anyway. Oftentimes it can be even more than that. And then you would have 2 days off of work to rest and recover. But the way these holidays work out with these makeup days before and after, you're only getting 1 day off and you're adding an extra 10 to 12 hours of work on top of your work week. So that 50 to 60-hour week becomes 70 to 80 hours. It's hard, especially if you're in a physically demanding or very mentally demanding job. Losing that extra day of rest is so difficult. I would prefer it to do it more like the Canadian system where Wednesday is the actual holiday, but let's give people Friday off. That way it's a long weekend and we don't require those 2 extra makeup days. And so for a lot of these holidays, there are adjusted working days. For Spring Festival, there's a day before and after the holiday you have to work. For the Mid-Autumn Festival, there's a day after the holiday you have to work. For National Day, there's 2 days extra that you have to work. So you're losing that rest period for the employees, which I personally believe costs productivity. On top of that, if those companies happen to deal with other companies overseas that work Monday to Friday, at the beginning of May, there's 3 days when they're not going to receive support, service, or sales from those companies that they deal with because all the employees are gone. And then when the employees come back to make up that time, they're coming on Saturdays or Sundays when those foreign companies might not even be working. So to me, it seems like a really bad idea. Not only are you causing the employees extra stress and extra hardship by working 6-day weeks for those 2-week periods before and after the holiday, but it also really throws a monkey wrench into international business, which as the manufacturing center of the planet is so important to Chinese business. But it gets worse. I know. How could it get worse? Because people all travel during those few periods, the airports, the highways, the bus stations, the train stations become a zoo. Lineups and lineups and lineups. Let me give you an example. This year, my wife and I were very smart. We went back to her hometown for Spring Festival. Typically, it's a 6-hour drive from Shenzhen to her hometown. Now, we went 3 days after the holiday had started. So our drive to get there was about 8.5 hours because there still was some traffic due to people heading back to their hometowns. But that wasn't too bad. If we'd have gone on the day of the holiday or the day before the holiday, that 6-hour drive would have been 14 or more. Then when we came back, we left 3 days before the holiday was over. And actually, because everybody was in the middle of the holiday at that point, we made it back in 5 hours because there was no traffic whatsoever. However, 3 days later, it would have taken us 20 hours on the highway of driving bumper to bumper to get back to Shenzhen. Now, this is particularly a problem in Shenzhen, as Shenzhen is an immigrant city. A large majority of the people that are here, the workforce, are from other places in China. So during Spring Festival in particular, they all go back. So there's a mass flood of people out of China at the beginning of the holiday. And then there's a mass flood of people coming back into China at the end of the holiday. So we missed all of that, thank goodness. But for anybody else who doesn't have the option to do that, that has to work within the confines of those 3, 7, or 8-day holidays, it can be really tough. I couldn't book a train ticket or a plane ticket right now if I wanted to, simply because they'd be all taken with people traveling. Even if I did have a ticket, it would just be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. So holidays in China, I appreciate that they follow the lunar calendar and it is their traditional way of doing it. I am so thankful that I'm not a typical employee anymore and that I don't have to try to travel and I don't have to kind of follow those rules and work extra days to make up days and shorten my rest periods in between work each week. But I can honestly say the holidays in China suck. But I suppose if you're Chinese or if you happen to work in China, it's just something you've got to learn to live with. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on the video today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. It really does help the algorithm to find my videos. And if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any ideas for other topics and other videos that you'd like to know about, let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to make videos specifically for you about the things you want to know. I've got some great content coming up right away here. I'm also planning to get out of the city and visit some really cool, unique, and off the beaten track places very, very soon. And I hope you'll join me for those videos, and we will see you next time.